Can I be honest with you for a second? Some of you are not stuck because you're broken. Yes, the gag is up. I know that you think that you are broken and there's just so much to be fixed about you. And there's so many different versions of you that you have to evolve into and elevate to in order to be who you already are. A lot of us get stuck because of the things that we have come into agreement with. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about what you have been thinking about and what you have been agreeing with, right? Because for a lot of us, I know for me anyway, there was a season in my life where I'm just like, if I can just heal more, if I can just pray more, if I can just read more, if I can not be as emotional, if I can gauge and calculate how I'm going to respond to certain things, then I will be whole. Then this is going to happen. If I can just sit with this and process it a little bit more. And what I'm saying to you is that those things are not wrong. But I realize that in this day and age, we're starting to kind of like idolize the therapeutic space, and we have become reliant on the lies that we've been telling ourselves. And I know we don't sit there and say like, hey, I'm going to rely on this lie to be who I am or to move how I move. But the lie is there. And I want to speak to you about how we start to move when we have come into agreement with it. So I realize that a lot of what we're going through is not just because, oh, this happened, this circumstance shaped me. It's like, no, this is an issue because of what I have agreed with based on the things that have transpired, based on the circumstances, right? And for all of my I'm doing the work people, let me talk to you. Let me be real with you. Because you can be doing the work, praying, showing up. I done been on a gazillion and one fast. I think I done fasted more than the Bible might require at this point, right? And I can feel like nothing is changing. And hear me what I'm saying is it's not because you're not trying. It's not because you're not taking the tools and applying them, but it's because somewhere along the line you have already decided. Anybody that knows me, if you have worked with me before, you know that I am such a strong advocate for therapy. I'm a strong advocate for getting tools. I'm a strong advocate for self-reflective work and being able to move forward to heal differently, right? And I just think of myself for a moment, right? There was a very tough, when I tell you excruciating season in my life right before I was going to start to walk through the process of divorce, before I was starting to speak to attorneys and things like that. And I remember saying, God, I don't have nothing left at all. I have a little bit of courage. My dignity is not even hanging on by a thread. Bro, I don't know what it's hanging on by right now, but I'm about to lose it. I felt so hopeless, right? And I told him, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me just speed this up a little bit. I said, I'm gonna write a letter and I'm gonna take these pills. And I started to think it out, right? I'm like, my kids gonna be all right. They still got their daddy around. My mother is a great mom. She's a great grandmother. So she'll be great with them, right? I started already processing what the end was gonna be, what the outcome was gonna be. And the lies that I was believing, I was like, I'm a failure. Like, how can I be a marriage coach and I'm about to go through a divorce? What? God, you bugging in real life, right? How? My business is about to shut down. I'm over here helping people with their brands and helping business owners get their businesses off the ground. My kids are experiencing emotional turmoil out the wazoo. And I was just like, maybe I'm not a good mother. And I realized that I wasn't out yet. Thank God, to God be the glory, I'm not out. But I already came into agreement with the idea that I don't need to be here anymore. And maybe for you, it's not that drastic, right? Maybe for you, it's not about you thinking that, oh my goodness, I want to take my own life. For some of us, it's just like, oh my goodness, I don't want this life that I have right here. I want a different life. Or maybe it's comparison, or maybe it's just, oh, I'm too much, or I'm not enough. Whatever your it is, right? There's something there's some thought, there's some agreement that you have made, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Because how many of y'all know we make a lot of agreements with our mouths, even when we joking, when we're upset, and we don't realize that we begin to partner with those agreements in how we move, right? And I was like, I already decided the outcome. I have already accepted this thing, and it's not the thing, it's not the word, it's not the prophecy, it's not the word that God has spoken over my life. But I realized that I partnered with that thing so much, like it was truth for me to stand on, that I had already started to decide that I'm no longer going to be here, right? And let me tell y'all this. Challenge me if you want to. When I say that the Bible is a formulaic blueprint, I'm about to walk you through how the woman who was going to bake a cake for her and her son to die literally was a part of saving my life, right? That story. And I feel like sometimes we read the Bible and we just read it as stories. But if you allow this word right here to come alive and you ask God to minister to you through your word. And I'm telling you, yes, I know it can be hard in moments where you just feel like, nope, don't want to hear nothing. Or it can feel like, well, this is about who it was about in the Bible. This is not God talking to me or about me. But when I tell you, when you crack this thing open right here, it will change the game if you take it and you apply it, right? So I came across a story in First Kings 17, chapter 17, right? And Elijah, God hits Elijah up like, yo, I need you to go over there. It's going to be a widow over there that's going to provide for you. That part blows my mind, actually. And this is not in my notes to say, but I'm just going to improvise real quick. The fact that God said, go to this widow who's going to provide for you, um, I want to see exactly how he said it. He said, behold, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. I'm trying not to move too fast in the story, but that part, like while I'm saying it to you, I just got excited because I'm like, this same widow who thinks she's about to die, who thinks that she only has enough flour and oil to provide a cake for her son, and then the two of them going to die because there's nothing left. God literally said to Elijah, go over there. She gonna provide for you. How? What? It's not giving provision. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back to where I was going. Right. But what I love about this story, the formula in this story, is that this woman thought that she was just gonna, like, life is hard. We out of here. We done. I got me and my son. We gonna eat this cake. We gonna lay down. We gonna die. And while I was doing my notes for this specific video, I'm like, but if this woman thinks she's gonna die, sis, why are you about to go eat? Like, I'm not led to believe that she just was gonna bake this cake and eat it and die because she didn't want to die on an empty stomach, right? Like, she had to have some level of belief. And this is just like us. Like, I'm going to prepare to die, but I'm gonna put these provisions in place. So I realized that her thinking is a little bit sketchy. Like, you think you're gonna die, but at the same time you about to fill up. Anyway, I digress again, right? But what I love about this story is that she says, I only have a little bit left, and me and my son are about to eat this and die. And like I said to you guys, I had to ask myself, like, why are you still preparing? So what I want to ask you is, what are you preparing for? And where are your thoughts or your agreements directly contradicting what the preparation is about? And what stood out to me to this about this woman is that even though she said death, that and she was gonna bake, she was still functioning in expectation. And I get it. I get how sometimes we think that life can be so hard that we are expecting the worst outcome, or we're preparing for the worst outcome rather. But somewhere in here, we are still functioning in expectation. Whether that looks like, God, you didn't come through today and I feel like I want to die, or God, you didn't come through today and I feel insecure. First of all, scratch that. Not even about him not coming through. You didn't come through the way that I wanted you to come through. You didn't come through the way that I thought you should have came through. You ain't come through and follow my agenda, right? If we're going to be real, we're going to be real. You didn't follow my agenda. You didn't follow what I thought should happen. However, there is still some expectation there. And I kind of want to walk you through a little bit, if I could, the formula in this passage right here, right? So I'm going to ask you, like, what have you agreed with? What have you already decided? Some of us already decided that this is not going to work. I'm always going to struggle. This is just my life. God don't love me the way his word says that he loves me. What is it? What is it? Because when you look at this, right, it says that he called out to this woman and said, first of all, this woman was out. I'm going to say it was a yard. She was in the front picking up sticks, right? And when he called out to her, he was like, bring me some water so that I can drink it. That part, that transition right there lets me know that even though she was going through, and if we may say that she had some level of expectation, her posture, your posture, my posture, our posture still matters when we're going through. Because here she is in her mind preparing to bake this cake for her and her son to die. And here comes Elijah, another mouth to feed. And he says, like, can you go get me some water? No rebuttal there. Her posture was still in a posture of serving. She still said yes. She still was willing to do the thing. She still was willing to serve. She still was willing to get on for us today, right? She still was willing to get on praise and worship, go to church so that she would not neglect the assembling of saints. She still was looking to worship, feed the homeless, whatever your calling is, whatever way God told you to serve, whatever capacity he called you to serve in. This woman was still willing to do it. She went. So even when your thoughts are off, that lets me know that your posture could still be right. Somebody sit in that. Take your time, but hurry up because I don't want to keep you on here too long. But even though your thoughts are off, your posture can still be right, which we see here. She still had a servant heart. And I know for some of us, right? Because I cannot imagine in my mind thinking like, yo, me and my kid's about to die. And what's on my mind or what's in my heart is to still serve a stranger that, bro, I never even seen you from nowhere. And you coming to take what we have left. So we can be going through, but I believe that God wants us to have a posture that is still surrendered to him through the formation of our identity. A posture to him, for him, through the formation of our identity. Clearly, she was one of God's daughters, right? So something about her identity still allowed her to serve. I'm going to go through my notes. The next thing here, right? Point number 3 is like, watch the story that you tell yourself. I love this part right here. This part right here where she's going to get the water and then Elijah stops her. What verse is that? He called out to her. This is in verse 10. He called out to her and said, please bring me a little water in a jar so that I may drink. As she was going to get it, he called to her and said, please bring me a piece of bread in your hand. The hand represents provision, right? We're not even going to jump into that today. But she said, as the Lord your God lives, I have no bread, only a handful of flour in a bowl and a little oil in this jar. That's why I'm going to press pause. We have to watch the stories that we are telling ourselves. Here goes Elijah saying, bring me a piece of bread in your hand, because the Lord already told me that there is provision in this house. The Lord already told me that when I got here, you were going to take care of me. But for her, she's like, I only have this little bit left. And it's already allocated. I only got this little bit of strength left. And it's already allocated to what I'm going to use it for. I only have this little bit of courage left, and it's already allocated for what I think I need the courage to do. I only have this little bit of finances left, and I already decided what I'm going to do with it. I only have this little bit of love left. I only have a little bit of capacity left. I only have a little bit left. And I wonder with this woman, like, what was she comparing her water and flour to? For her to know that it was a little bit. right? What are you comparing what you have right now to say like I only have, to look at it and say that it's insufficient? Is it possible that you're comparing it to your last season of plenty? Is it possible that you're comparing it to the business owner next to you? Is it possible that you're comparing it to the marriage next door? Is it possible you're comparing it to your friends? Like, what was she looking at that she felt was insignificant or just a little bit? What was the comparison? And the reason why I'm asking this question about her, but also about you and about me, is because the story that we tell ourselves that are not rooted in this word right here. I don't care if it's Amplified, King James, NIV, CBT, NLT. What are we not utilizing here to have us look at something that God is asking us to surrender and say, oh, but this is not enough? I'm coming for all my churchy girlies and homeboys. When God is saying, give me that thing, when God is saying, spend time with me, you're like, oh, well, I only got 10 minutes. 10 minutes of worship outbeats no worship. I only got 5 minutes to read this devotional. I only have, right? Like he can take that thing and make it and expand it to whatever it is that he wants it to be, right? So we got to start asking ourselves, when we're feeling insufficient, when we're feeling like we're not enough or we're too much of a thing or we don't have enough of a thing, what's the story that we're telling ourselves? And funny enough, I was going to do this video with Corinthians as the base, right? Like we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We cast down every sophisticated argument, that, all the things with our war clothes on. And God was like, I need you to talk about this right here, because this is where a lot of us get stuck. A lot of us get stuck in this journey of healing where we're constantly chasing a thing because we don't think that who we are in him, we do not live in the belief that our identity in him is enough. And it causes us to look at the future with the lens of becoming something else. And God is like, I didn't ask you to become anything. I asked you to put on the new man. I ask you for your mind to be transformed, but everything that you are, before I formed you in your mother's belly, before I placed you there, everything that you are and your identity is already secure. But what are you comparing it to? What are you measuring your little against? What are you measuring your gift against? What are you measuring your money against? What are you measuring your calling against? What are you measuring your identity against? Right? We gotta start asking ourselves the question, what is this is little compared to what? This is the fake me compared to what? This is the worst version of me compared to what? This is the version of me that gotta sow a seed for the next version compared to what? What next version? Who else is coming? Right? Who else is coming? What am I comparing who God says that I am to? So I love that. What I also love about this, Elijah was a G. He said, first of all, stop it with all that. I don't know about y'all friends, but I got friends that'll be like, girl, what is you talking about? I don't even want to hear none of that. Don't even bring that this way. And I realized after growing up and maturing a little bit and being weaned off the milk, that it's not them invalidating my experience, that it's not them shutting down my experience or treating it like it didn't happen, but it's more so about them interrupting the pattern of my thinking so that I can come into agreement with who God says that I am, right? I'm talking about my friends that be like, yo, we need to pray right now type of friends. I'm talking about my friends that'll listen to me rant because I don't understand, that. And they be like, you done? All right, let's wrap this up. Elijah said, you done? Miss, are you done? Are you done telling me how you don't got no bread and a cake that you about to make and a little bit of tiny drop of oil and flour that you got? Are you done? So that I can interrupt that. She said, just make me a little bread from it. Elijah said to her, Don't fear. Go and do what you just said you was gonna do. Go make go make that cake. Go serve. Go do the work of the Lord. Go do what you said you're gonna do. Just make me a little bread from it. First. I know I just told you I got a son that I gotta feed. I know I just told you I'm preparing a whole funeral. You gonna ask me to bring you the first portion? Ooh, I'm getting excited. Isn't that like God? Bring me your first fruit. Bring me your offering. Bring it to me first, because watch how I'm going to expand it. Bring me your insecurity first. My strength is made perfect in your weakness. Bring me your thoughts first so I can demolish the enemy. Bring me you first so I can remind you of who you are in me. Bring it to me. I'm getting excited. Y'all know when I get excited, I start talking with my hands because it be so good. Like, why this word be wording in real life? Bring it to me first. That's what the prophet told her. That's what God is telling us. Bring it to me first. Whatever I give you, whatever vision I gave you, whatever task I gave you to carry out, bring it to me first. I want the consecrated piece. Before you touch it and start putting your hands in it and making it, bring it to me first, because I'm going to show you what that yielded first is going to do. I'm going to show you what this surrender is going to do. I'm going to show you what this worship is going to do, right? Because obedience is worship. I'm not even talking to Abraham today, but if I was, he'll let you know when he had to take his son up there. Obedience is worship, right? So bring it to me first. And afterwards, then you make one for yourself and your son. Bring it to me first, because when you see this expansion, bring it to me first. Because when you see how I carry out that vision, bring it to me first. Because when you see who I said you are, bring it to me first, Roxanne. Bring it to me first. Insert your name right there. Bring it to me first. Name, bring it to me. Then you go and do. Because now you're going to see that when it's in my hand, it never was a little bit to begin with. I'm getting excited and I gotta get out of here, but his word be so rich. I just be like, oh, right? And then he said to her, for this is what the Lord God of Israel says, the bowl of flour shall not be exhausted, nor shall the jar of oil be empty until the day that the Lord sends rain again on the face of the earth. It's not gonna run out. This is what the Lord is saying. It's not going to need another version. It's not going to need all the glitz and glamours that you think is going to need. It's not going to need none of that. It's not going to run out. Who I said you are is not going to run out. My mercy is not going to run out. My grace is not going to run out. My grace that's sufficient for you, it's not going to run out. You are not going to run out or burn out when you move the way I'm telling you to move. It's not going to run out. So that lie has to be interrupted. I'm going to run back all 5 parts of this formula for y'all in a minute, right? And she said, all right, verse 15, immediately she went and did as Elijah said. And she and he and her household ate for many days. The bowl of flour was not exhausted, nor did the jar of oil become empty, in accordance to the word of the Lord, which he spoke through Elijah. Whatever the Lord spoke to you, homegirl, homeboy, it's not going to return to him void. Uh-oh. But we got to make sure that it's the word he spoke to you, not the word that you wanted him to speak to you and you fake made up that he spoke to you and then you moved according to what he did not say. I don't even know why I went right there, but I'm going to say ouch, because that one hit me first. Bring it to me first. Go do what I said. All the things. And it's not going to exhaust. Your identity is not going to run out. Your agreement have to show up in your action. She made that cake first. Agreement is not what you say. Agreement is what you do next with what he says. I'm going to go on ahead and keep this video under 30 minutes. But I want to give you the 5. I'm going to run it back so that I can just give you the 5 parts of this. I'm just going to list out the 5 for you so that you can write it down, right? So that you can have the understanding of like what it means to really be in agreement. How you decide to move forward will make a difference, right? So you got to examine what, number 1, you got to examine what have you agreed with. Number 2, you got to check your posture because your posture still matters. The third point is you have to watch the story you tell. The fourth part is you need to get around some friends, some mentors, somebody, or get into this word right here and allow that lie to be interrupted. You should know the truth, and the truth should make you free. What is the truth? The truth is in his word. And number 5, when you do agree, let that thing show in your actions. Let your agreement speak through your hands, through how you move, through how you decide what you're going to do with what God said, right? That's where your agreement got to show up. Your agreement shows up in how you decide you're going to bring what God said to you full circle. That's what I need. Okay. And before we go, I just want to say this because I know that there are some of you on here, you're going to come across this video, whether it's tonight when it get posted or tomorrow or next week in the next few months. You might be saying, Rox, the real agreement I need to make today is not just with the truth of what Christ is saying, but I need to come into agreement with Christ. That part. Right? And I'm here to just let you know, like Romans 10:9, it says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and you believe in your heart that he was raised from the dead, you will be saved. So this is an invitation. This is not about religion. This is not about coming to my church, going to that church, this church. This is about relationship. This is about you coming out of agreement with who you thought you were and coming into agreement with who he is and who he says that you are. So if that's you, I just want you to say this with me, okay? Jesus, I give you my life. I believe that you died for me. And I believe that you rose again. I surrender what I have been carrying. And I come into agreement with your truth. I am saved. I've confessed this with my mouth and I believe it in my heart that I am saved. This is in Jesus' name that I pray. And if you just pray that prayer, I need you to know that that was real. That was your next step. Is to come into relationship with him, is to seek him, is to be with him, is to allow him to be with you and show you who you are. And you need to grow in that decision, right? So that looks like connecting to a local church in your area. That looks like you getting in your word. That looks like you spending time with him. That looks like you seeking him, right? That looks like allowing him to minister to you. Okay? And if you are ready, if you're here and you're like, Rox, I'm ready to start breaking the agreement with the lies that I have been believing and the limitations that I've been placing on myself, I want you to, right below this video right here, I want you to click on this link right in the bottom and download the Break Free Guide. The link is in the description. It's a guide that I created for you so that you can start to challenge your thoughts and challenge your agreement so that you can come into agreement with the fullness of Christ. I will see you in the next one. Do me a favor. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe. I'll see you later. Did it stop?